The top story this afternoon, well, there seems to have been a confrontation between a CPI delegation, a 4-member CPI delegation that was trying to go into Nuh Violence hit Nuh, and there was this confrontation that the delegation had with a senior police official. The 4-member delegation was trying to visit the affected areas of violence hit Nuh. Remember, demolitions have been going on in Nuh. Several areas were demolished earlier as well. Let's first try and listen in to what that CPI leader had to say at that exchange that happened between the police and the CPI delegation.
We have seen it. This is the country's plight today, the reality of the day. The police are not allowing even we people, the CPI delegation consisting of top leaders of the party, we are prevented on the roads. That means under this rule, even freedom of movement is prohibited. Hooligans, goons, miscreants, communal fascists, they can move freely. But people like we, law-abiding, democratic people who came here for peacemaking, we are prevented here. You have seen it.
So, well, there you can see that confrontation between the CPI delegation, which also includes 2 MPs, with a very senior police official who was at the spot there. They were trying to visit the affected areas, the areas that were demolished by the administration. Listen.
ठीक है अब सुनो सर मेरी नौकरी का ख्याल करो आप रुक जाओ तुम्हारे को क्या पता तुम करवाए कहाँ प्रॉब्लम आई तो क्या करेगा हमारे को पता है कि कई बार समझा दिया.
So, well, the police's argument here is essentially that Section 144 of prohibitory orders are in place, which is why the delegation was not being allowed. My colleague Priyanshi Sharma is now joining us on the phone line. Priyanshi, this confrontation that the CPI delegation had with the police is sort of very interesting because the police say that Section 144 prohibitory orders are in place, which is why they're not being allowed. This also, as a Mahapanchayat, is simultaneously being held in another part of Haryana and Gurugram. So, first, take us through the details of this confrontation. Where were the CPI delegation? Where was it headed?
So the CPI delegation, Vedant, was headed for Nuh, which is where violence started on the 31st of July, and the violence started, and that has led to 6 deaths in the whole of Haryana. So there is still tension in the Nuh district. It's still communally sensitive. That's why internet has been suspended till August 8th. There's also Section 144 in place. So that tells you that the situation is not normal in Nuh, which is why these members of parliament and other leaders from the CPIM wanted to visit Nuh to take a stock of the situation, to see what people are facing. Along with that, another thing that the CPIM leaders wanted to see, and what the opposition has been also pointing out, is that there have been massive demolition drives in the Nuh district. Several houses, one hotel in the morning were demolished, and shanties have been demolished. And the officials say that while these are illegal encroachments, these places belonged to some people who were involved in stone pelting on the 31st of July. But while these allegations are being made, the opposition maintains that this is no way to deliver justice, and this is in a way justice being bulldozed. That's also another point that is being raised by the opposition, because we don't know whether these people are actual accused, whether these people were actually involved in stone pelting, but their houses are being razed, their houses are being demolished without giving them any notice. So that's also another point being raised by the opposition, whether the due course of justice and law is being followed, or whether just in the name of instant justice, justice is actually being bulldozed. Now, the other thing, let me tell you that while this is the context on why the CPIM leaders wanted to visit Nuh, 4 of them actually were a part of this delegation that was trying to visit Nuh. Out of them, 2 were members of parliament and 2 were other senior leaders. The face-off that we saw between the police and the CPIM leader, that was CPIM Rajya Sabha MP, Mr. Binoy Vishwam. And in that face-off, as we just heard, that the police is making one point, that there's Section 144 in place, and that's why we cannot allow you to go inside, we cannot allow you to be there. But remember, Section 144 has been in place, and despite that, we've seen several mobs have been attacking shops. Even in Gurugram, they've vandalized shops. Even in Nuh, certain isolated incidents are still happening. And this is a delegation of 4 people. It's not a large group of people that wanted to enter. But the police has given this argument, and it's very rare to see such a face-off between members of parliament and senior police officers and and the police officials going to the extent of saying that he might lose his job if he lets the members of parliament enter the Nuh district. So that's the level that it has gone to, that the senior cop is on record saying that he might lose his job if he lets them go inside. But all of this comes at a time when the situation both in Nuh and Gurugram is still communally sensitive. And there was also a Hindu Samaj Mahapanchayat held in Gurugram despite the situation being communally sensitive. So those are the concerns being raised by the opposition with us.
Absolutely, Priyanshu. And the point you were making about demolitions as well, this new form of justice, this instant justice, because a massive demolition drive has been launched by the Haryana administration in various parts of Haryana, particularly Nuh, which has been the epicenter of the communal violence that we've seen in the past few days. In fact, the Nuh district administration brought bulldozers today as well for the third straight day to raise Sahara Hotel, the fourth day of the demolition drive today, in fact. And the Sahara Hotel was where the administration says stones were pelted from, which is why that building was demolished today. And before this, a dozen shops, including medical stores, have also been razed. In fact, shanties, 250 shanties of migrants living in Tauru, another communally sensitive area where there was attempted vandalism at two mosques. There, 250 shanties were also demolished. This, as the Haryana administration, including the Chief Minister himself, says that these immigrants were involved in the violence. In fact, my colleague Tanish Punjabi has been on the ground. He sent us this report from Nuh.
आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री हरियाणा श्री मनोहर लाल जी के आदेशों से कार्रवाई की गई है। ये 2.5 एकड़ में ये इंक्रोचमेंट था और इसमें सारी ये जो भी स्ट्रक्चर थी 45 इसमें पक्की स्ट्रक्चर थी और 15 कच्ची स्ट्रक्चर थी और ये सारी अवैध निर्माण था और ये जो अभी दंगे हुए हैं उनमें भी इनकी संलिप्तता पाई गई है। इसलिए मनोहर लाल जी के आदेश से हमने प्रशासन ने इन पे कार्रवाई करते हुए इनको जमींदोज कर दिया।
Right now I am outside the Tiranga Chowk in the Nuh area, Nuh district. Now this was a three-floored building that has been demolished by the authorities. Now the demolition drive has been going on and today is the 4th day. The government is saying, the authorities are saying that the demolition drive is against the illegal encroachments that have taken place and also those who were involved in the riots that took place few days back. This was a 3-storied building which was said to be the hotel from where the stone pelting allegedly took place. A viral video was seen from where stone pelting was taking place. As far as investigation is concerned, around 8 people have been arrested by the Haryana police in this case, and police is still searching and raids are going on in the border areas of Haryana and Rajasthan.
So, while this is happening in Nuh and Gurugram, the Hindu Samaj called for a massive Mahapanchayat. In fact, 500 to 800 people gathered for that Mahapanchayat. And, well, according to reports, there was no permission that was sought by the organizers of the Hindu Samaj for this Mahapanchayat to take place. However, the ACP of Gurugram, he says that the police reached out to the organizers of the Hindu Samaj and the police was assured by the Hindu Samaj and the organizers of the Mahapanchayat that it would be a completely peaceful Mahapanchayat and there would be nothing to worry about. In fact, there's heavy police deployment. As you can see, senior police officials, including the Rapid Action Forces, are also on the ground because they had a hunch that this could lead to perhaps extreme reactions coming in. But it was a peaceful Mahapanchayat, though it's important to highlight that no permission was sought by the organizers. And moving now to a shocking incident coming in from Rajasthan, where an 85-year-old woman has been brutally murdered. She was assaulted and attacked and beaten by a 60-year-old. She was beaten with an umbrella. In fact, 2 minors recorded the video. The police say that the attacker, a 60-year-old man, suffered from hallucinations, but an absolutely horrific incident there caught on camera.
बैठो भी नहीं हो अरे उठा मैंने वो हट दो
And moving now to another horrific incident coming in from Uttar Pradesh. 2 minor boys in Uttar Pradesh's Siddharth Nagar district were made to drink urine. In fact, green chilies were rubbed in their private parts and they were forcibly given some unidentifiable injections on just the suspicion of theft. The victims are a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old boy. Horrifying videos of the sickening assault showed the boys made to eat green chilies as well and gulp it down with a bottle filled with urine. In fact, a group of men could be heard abusing them and threatening to beat them up if they didn't go through with it. The goons allegedly caught the boys and tied them up, accusing them of stealing money.
आज थाना पथरा बाजार में सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से 2 नाबालिग बच्चों के साथ कुछ आपत्तिजनक कृत्य का एक वीडियो संज्ञान में आया था। पुलिस द्वारा तत्काल उक्त वीडियो का संज्ञान में लेते हुए गंभीर धाराओं में अभियोग पंजीकृत किया गया तथा अभियुक्त गण में 6 को हिरासत में लिया गया है। समस्त वैधानिक कार्रवाई पूर्ण करते हुए उन्हें माननीय न्यायालय के समक्ष प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा।